Hello? Okay. This is the day I wish I was a little shorter. First, I have a little service announcement. Michael and Rachel would like to thank whoever it was that gave them the steak knives at the bridal shower. Barb Brown. Me, not so much. I can confirm they are very good quality knives, and they are also very sharp. So the sad part is I didn't almost decapitate my finger cutting into a thick, juicy steak. I was trying to get the knives out of the package. Apparently you don't use steak knives to unpackage the rest of the steak knives. Lesson learned, don't try this at home. So we would like to welcome and thank you all for coming today and for sharing this special day with Michael and Rachel. I know they are very blessed to be able to share this day with all of you. I know this because if they didn't, they could have just eloped and saved me money. On a side note, after the wedding, we will be accepting donations to the new charity we are supporting, Save the Mowbrays. For only $2 a day, you too can save a Mowbray before you become extinct. So as you can see, if you were expecting a traditional father of the bride speech, you are at the wrong wedding. So it is awesome to see that Michael and Rachel have such a large support system. I know that it's way larger than just the people in this room. They are truly blessed. So Rachel wasn't convinced that I should speak today. In fact, she referred to me as a loose cannon and unpredictable of what I might say or do. I took that as a compliment. I think she was more nervous about what I was going to say tonight than the entire wedding process this week. Rachel, since I made you forget about, the stresses of putting together this wedding, for that, you are welcome. And also, I would have spoken anyways. We will soon see if her instincts are correct. Rachel, all indications so far prove that you should have gone with your instincts. Yeah, I don't know what I was thinking. Just a little background. I have known Rachel for 21 and a half years. I can still remember the day we met. I was in the hospital visiting someone, and I assume you were too. Do you remember? Yeah. I remember you were just staring at me with those big brown eyes. What? Are they blue? Are they brown? Okay. All right. Okay, you were staring at me with those big blue eyes. We just hit it off that day, and we kept in touch ever since. That was until Michael came along. But I may get over it one day. Today is a surreal day for our families. Not only is it the biggest day in a woman's life, and man's, it is also one of the proudest moments for a father, knowing that your daughter has found the man of her dreams and is the happiest that she's ever been. Deb and I are so thrilled and proud to share their joy today. But where did the time go? It seems like just yesterday Rachel was out in the backyard eating dirt. You don't remember that? Now look at her. The princess has blossomed into a beautiful queen. And a beautiful queen she is today. Absolutely stunning. And did I mention it's a proud day for a father? Michael, your prayers have been answered today. Rachel is unfortunately a little like me. While I am stubborn, so I've been told, she is determined. So she would be the much improved version of me, if that was possible. I'll call her the 2.0 version. Lately, we have both noticed so many similarities in the way we do things and then the way we think alike. Sorry, Rachel, it's genetics and you're in a world of trouble. When Rachel has something in her head she wants to do, there is no such thing as I can't do this. It is I'm going to make this work somehow, even when the task seems impossible. I actually have a terrible memory, but I do remember a time when Rachel was 2.5. We were at Cultus Lake. Since we were used to roughing it camping, we decided to take the kids to the neighboring park a short distance from the campground. I remember that we were being followed by a giant, non-friendly looking dog. That's what Deb and the kids thought. I believe it was a bear. Back to the point. So, Derek being 4, he was showing off his monkey bar skills by going across without letting go. An impressive task even for a 4-year-old. Rachel was going to have no part of this. If Derek could do it, she was certainly not leaving until she made it across without falling, even if a bear was watching us. As she grabbed the first bar, I swear the Rocky theme song started to play, and the look on her face could kill. Kind of like the one she's looking at me with right now. So this was the most determined look I have ever seen in my life, and it is etched in my mind forever. The slow motion climb across was grueling for her. She could hardly reach the next bar without a huge swing. Even though we thought she should come down, she was determined to go on. And at this point, it was no longer safe for us to attempt to remove her from the bars. I believe it took some time for her to cross, but she did cross without falling. Another proud moment for her father. Rachel is also a planner. She can plan her way out of anything, especially chores. Rachel is the only person I know that can plan a full day around a root canal surgery. Here's what that day would have looked like. 7 a.m., meet Maddie for breakfast. 8 a.m., babysitting for 3 hours. 11 a.m., shopping at the mall with Leah. 12 p.m., drive to the dentist at Guildford, park car, and go into Tim Hortons for lunch with Stephanie. 1 p.m., go to dentist for a painful 3-hour root canal. 4 p.m., go to gym for a 1-hour workout. 5 p.m., back to Guildford to meet Haley for a dinner at Red Robin's. 6:30 p.m. Pick up Michael and drive to the beach to watch the sunset. When she gets to the beach, she texts Dad, "Do you need a car tonight or tomorrow?" 6:31 p.m. Turn off phone. 9 p.m. More babysitting with the help of Michael. 11:30 p.m. Quick coffee stop at Starbucks to help gain energy for the next day. 12 a.m. Arrive home. 12:01 a.m. Turn on phone and reply to Dad. 12:02 a.m. Fast asleep. Rachel is the only person I know that can triple book herself and make all 3 appointments. That's very impressive. You didn't get that from me. I can listen. So Rachel does get some attributes from her mother. She has a loving and caring heart and always goes the extra distance to help people and offers her assistance selflessly. Never asking for anything in return, she volunteers her help to family, friends, and strangers, sharing her faith with everyone she meets. I may not say this enough, if ever, but Rachel, you have made us proud almost every day of your life. Rachel is one of a kind, and Deb and I are so happy that we were the ones that got her. End of part 1. Sorry. And I apologize for still standing here. So, I am now going to tell you a story. It is a story of the day Michael and Rachel officially started dating. Now, remember, I barely knew Michael at this point. So, a little forgiving. So, this story is how I remember the official start. June and Sheila, I apologize for any inconsistencies here. I apologize again, just in case. Here is my story. It was a stormy night in November. It was gloomier than usual with a dense fog. Expected in the morning. It was midnight, as usual, before going to bed. I like to plan out my next day, or today as I'll call it. I only plan the important things, like what to order for dinner tonight, and should I nap before or after noon. These were the important questions crashing around in my head. Then I remember that Rachel was bringing a friend over today. It was now time for me to go to bed. I staggered towards the bedroom, not because I had been drinking. It was due to the everyday aches and pains of my accelerated age. Before I got into bed, I gazed into the room to find my wife already asleep. Where my wife was already asleep. Deb looked like an angel as she slept. I watched her for a little longer since she hadn't left me any space or blankets on the bed. Michael, you will soon understand what I mean, and you better not already know. I lay down beside her. As I precariously attempted to kill Deb by sleeping on top of her, I quickly drifted off to sleep. Silently I lay. Seemed quiet to me. After 4 hours, I suddenly heard a sound. Yeah, like that. It was a rude awakening. Yes, my wife was getting up. This was normal for her. She did not need to get up for any reason. She just did. I slipped off to dreamland where everything again was quiet. Unaware that my wife was standing directly over me, I was awakened again by a strange sound being repeated over and over. Wake up, sleepyhead, wake up. It's a big day today. Rachel is bringing a friend over. My wife, powered like the Energizer Bunny, was attempting to wake me up at 4:30 a.m. I quickly drifted off to sleep. Only minutes later, another sound woke me up. Yes, you guessed correctly, it was a rooster. Good one, Deb. I now understand why Deb was always up at 4:30 a.m. each morning. As it turns out, she is the unofficial alarm that wakes up the roosters every morning so they can... I woke up at 7:30 a.m. to find my wife vacuuming the bedroom on my side. Apparently, it was now time to get up. My wife reminded me that Rachel was bringing a friend over later. What's the big deal, I thought? I looked out the window and saw a dense fog. Or perhaps it was more like a light mist. Hard to remember. That'll make the cleanup easier. Deb put her hands on her hips and tapped her foot while asking me what I was going to do today. I thought long and hard for a second and said, I don't know. She then let me know what she had already done in the 3.5 hours of being up. She had vacuumed the entire house, washed all the floors, washed the walls, taken the dog for a walk, cut the lawn, made a big dinner, made a big lunch, made a big breakfast. Converted all her recipes to a file for Rachel. You never know, she said. She might get married one day. She had washed both vehicles, pruned the trees, fixed the garage door, and washed all the windows. I could go on, but you get it, right? After hearing all this, the only thing that ran through my head was, I don't get to order dinner tonight? I then asked about the big breakfast she had made, as I was hungry. Was it ready to eat? Not until Rachel gets up. It's a big day for her, she explained. I asked if I should wake her up. No, she screamed. Off to work I went, pouting all the way down the stairs. It was 1 p.m. when Rachel finally made her way down the stairs. About an hour earlier than usual. She was only half awake and her hair had a mind of its own. Her greeting this afternoon was, Dad, you better be nice to Michael when he gets here. Really, I thought, what did I do to deserve that? Was interrupted by Deb, who looked at me and says, yeah, you better be nice to him. Rachel spent the remainder of the afternoon putting on makeup and getting ready. I suggested to Rachel that Mom would love to help her with the makeup. Rachel thought this was a fantastic idea and started to jump up and down with excitement. And then asked Deb to give her the Tammy Faye look. We can watch this for a second, can we? Proudly, I too prepared for our guest's arrival. Arming myself as a good tribal warrior would, I always start with the fired cutlass. It's a nice shiny deterrent, but mostly for show. Next I add the side, the big long sharp thing. This is great when you are trying to get your point understood. Simple words are required. Not that I really need any other deterrents, but just to be prepared, I added a chainsaw. To my arsenal. Need I say more about the chainsaw? I always wear my bullet belt. Not sure why I have one since I don't have a gun, but maybe one day. Lastly, my personal favorite, the dragon sword. Not only is it the best looking weapon I own, but it's also a great holiday tool. I am able to carve a turkey and a roast beef at the same time. It is also a great conversation starter and sometimes conversation ender. It is also an excellent back scratcher. This is the reason it's my favorite. I was now ready for battle. Ready to greet our guest. The time had arrived. The boy should be arriving any minute. As Rachel waited patiently at the door to greet the young lad, and after only being 1 hour late, I heard an odd scratching sound at the door. The dog started to howl. Michael had arrived. I apologize again. Rachel met him at the door and led him to the sofa, where he proceeded to lie down and say, "Yo, dude, I got a thing for your daughter." This was the first of many looks to come over my face this night. I asked the boy what his long-term plans were. With a confused look, he said, "I don't know, dude." As I was sharing my life's achievements, which went on and on, he interrupted me and said that he planned on playing professional basketball for either the Warriors or the Raptors. He hadn't decided which team yet. I then asked to see some of his basketball skills. "First, I will show you my dribbling skills," he roars. Thinking that he could probably dribble from a glass better than dribbling a basketball, he showed me how he could spin the basketball on his finger. Yeah, "You should stay in school," I shouted. Not to be embarrassed, Michael then said he was also an accomplished drummer. And he proceeded to play drums to Tom Sawyer by Rush. I shook my head and said, "Michael, you really need to stay in school. Really." Finally, it was dinner time. This was the best news I had heard all day. We sat down at the dining room table. Michael sat down and said, "Dude, where's the grub?" Dinner was served. We passed around the chicken and quickly realized it may not be completely cooked. I asked Deb if James had cooked the chicken. She said, "No, not this time." We quickly passed the potatoes around, as they were really hot. For dessert, yes, we had a banana cream pie. I thought it would be a nice gesture for me to personally serve Michael some pie and break the ice peace offering. All kinds of thoughts rolled around in my head while preparing to serve this pie to Michael. I smiled and gave the pie to Michael. Yes, you all know me well. My evil side took over and I lost control of all my actions. A decision I would have to live with the rest of my life. And I'm good with that. Good job, guys. Dinner was finally over. It was now time for the talk. They told us that they were officially dating and went on to discuss their courtship guidelines. Blah, blah, blah. That's what I saw. Deb and I interrupted and offered our own set of guidelines. Rachel, Michael, let's practice our rules, shall we? Now, please sit down beside each other. Now, both of you, move your chairs a little further apart. Further? Yeah, a little further. That's about right. That's how close you should sit together. Next, we will show you how to hold hands. Stand beside each other, with arms extended out to your side. Move apart until your fingers just touch. Place arms down, and take one giant step away from each other. You are now ready to hold hands without needing hand sanitizer. Can you feel the magic? Now, for acceptable kissing, I'm a kind man here. We do not recommend this. But if you can't resist, follow the pistol duel rules. So follow the pistol duel rules. Stand back to back. Walk 20 paces or 2. Turn and blow a kiss with your hand. Or in a pinch, if you have a triple pane window, one of you can stand on either side, but I don't want to see that. Now, for being alone together.
Are you crazy? Are you out of your mind?
Yes, over my dead body. Follow these rules and we will get along very well. It was now time for Michael to leave. Rachel and Michael, holding hands, skipped to the door and stopped. I reminded them of our holding hands rule and also my new 2-foot rule, and that Michael's 2 feet were too close to Rachel. They both rolled their eyes at me and I stared back with my evil eye. On their way out, a light bulb lit up over their head. They both looked at me and said, "What should Michael call you?" For a short moment I thought, and while waving my dragon sword in the air, I yelled, "Freedom!" Sorry, got a little caught up in the moment. I said that Michael could call me anything but Grandpa. This concludes the story. I would like to thank the unsuspecting groomsmen that had no idea what was going to happen tonight. Thanks for being such good sports and not feeling the need for retribution down the road. Please give them a big hand. Also, this story could not have happened without the support of some great people. Barb, Jackie, and Lori were the directors, equipment managers, personal handlers, and wardrobe assistants. Steve and Guy were the set designers, gaffers, technical directors, personal bodyguards, on-site security. They're the ones who made sure the boys didn't fall off the stage. Thanks to Rico for hitting the cues and generating the sound effects for us tonight. And last but not least, our resident rooster, Jen, who can wake anyone up within a 5-kilometer radius. Let's hear it for the entire team. So, in closing, yes, in closing, now for all of you that know me, the #1 rule is never believe a word I say. You may not believe this, but the only line that was true in the entire story was the last line where I said, "Michael can call me anything but Grandpa." This line was the key inspiration for the story. Michael, you are officially allowed to call me Grandpa, but not until winter of 2018 at minimum. Michael, you are a great guy with excellent values. Deb and I are very proud to have you as our son-in-law, and we are happy to officially welcome you to our family, but you've already been a part of it for what seems like forever, which is a good thing. Rachel, your prayers have also been answered today.
Yeah.
Michael and Rachel, in my eyes, you are the perfect couple. You were destined to be together, and Deb and I will always be there to support you and help you in any way you need. Thank you.